it's a big responsibility, so if you fuck it up, there's no second take, okay?
There's no second take shit. Okay, well, hi everyone. Welcome to Shimeji Dissertation, episode 4. Jeez, wow. Look at
Woohoo!
us. We're just screaming through it.
Yeah. Four's our lucky
Yeah.
number, so.
Is it? Isn't that an unlucky number in, like, Japanese?
I said it's our lucky number. Yeah, it's not a good luck number, but it's our lucky number.
Okay. Yeah, we're putting that in down. That one's our lucky number, everybody. How you doing, Maria? How you
Doing
been?
good.
Yeah.
Doing good. Pretty busy, I won't lie.
Say that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been preparing a lot of things for my birthday, so that's been like a lot.
Happy birthday. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a little.
We're like halfway through the
after
month,
it.
so it's whatever, but thank you. For the
Why
people
not?
who listen to it like even a week after and you're like, "Oh, happy birthday," don't bother.
It's long gone.
Don't even try.
It's over for you.
Yeah, it's fucking over. You're not gonna make it. So give it a rest. Aside
Yeah.
from that, I've become the kind of person who reads like erotic doujinshi at work, so that's been like a fun development.
Oh,
I've read like
classic.
I've read like a bunch of Morishima and
Ugh, queen.
what's that other
It has
girl?
been. What? Shunita?
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh my gosh. Everyone. Maria told me. I referenced, like, Shunita. And Maria was like, "Who is this?" So you know what? When you said you hadn't read either Marishima Akiko or Shunita, I got so excited. It was like, it was like my birthday and fucking Christmas at the same fucking time. I was like, holy shit! I get to introduce you to some real fucking legends. And who was the other person? You said, was it Tamamisu or something? Or no? Fucking.
I have them open on my phone somewhere, so I can go and check it.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day for sharing.
Yeah, it was like the trifecta of like mangaka you were into that you could show me.
They're just like the beasts of Yuri manga. Like,
Yeah, they
no
are
one-
some fucking beasts. I
Yeah.
won't lie.
it's crazy. Oh, I love them. Yeah. Whew. So is that what you've been reading?
Hanyuku Yoshi, I think it was the other one.
Oh yeah. How did that been?
Yeah, I was reading a lot of Shuninta.
Ugh.
And then I got sidetracked because I started reading Love Thy Neighbor, and that kind of like
Holy shit! Yeah.
that kind of like flipped the switch on me, so I couldn't like drop it. So that's been most of my week, just like reading Love Thy Neighbor at work and trying to act
So
normal.
fair. So fair. Oh.
Like I was like feeling that manga do something to me, and I was like in the middle of a lunch break, and I was like, okay, back to work.
Oh, my neighbor is like, it's like crazy.
It's crazy good.
I should reread it. Oh.
Is it
so
over?
good.
Like finished?
No, I think it's on hiatus or like going into season 2 or whatever. I don't know. It's like that webtoon shit that they pace things a lot differently, which is fair. It's good to get a break in and everything and like get a little bit of a buffer. I relate to that, yeah. But yeah, no,
it's so good.
It's so good.
I don't even want to say anything for the people listening because you gotta like experience it on your own. Just like start reading that shit and don't look back.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been that's been kind of it. A very fun week, despite all the working and the preparations. How have you
Yeah.
been?
Good. Um, it's finals next week for me, so I'm gonna be as soon as we're done with this. I need to finish like 5 labs, and need to repeat
Oh,
that for the next like 6 days, and then I'm in the clear on late
oh,
work. And then I've got my certification on Monday that I'm prepping for. Also, I'm just excited. But anyway, as far as what
Mhm.
I've been reading, oh god, what happened? Okay, wait, no, I do this every time. I can't. But anyway, fuck. There's been a bunch of good shit updating lately, like Until the Water Became Holy Red, How to Break a Triangle, which is crazy. Holy
Mhm.
shit, it's a new kabosha. Um,
Mhm.
that one, oh, it's. Do you know what that one's about? That one's the one where there's like there's these 3 childhood friends
Uh
in high
huh.
school or whatever, and then suddenly one of them gets like fucking just disappears, and then like 10 years, like the other two like go on, or they're in college or some shit. They're like
Uh huh.
22, and then she just reappears back where she disappeared, and she's still like 15 or whatever, and they're like
Oh my
navigating
god.
this. It's like insane. There's like a love triangle going on. They're trying to like
Oh
be like,
god.
you are technically also like in your 20s, but you just disappeared, and you
Oh
are
god.
like, it's so fucked. It's really good.
I that sounds, yeah, that does sound kind of tasty. I won't lie.
It's
The
pretty tasty.
I do love those kind of stories, where they kind of work through. I don't know, like Pandora Hearts kind of did that, like kind of no did that with
Mm.
Oz and Gilbert, where Oz essentially just
Yeah, they totally.
disappears for like a while, and then it's weird because it Pandora Hearts is such a fucking funny manga. Like, holy shit! It's like they put you right in front of this gay guy, and like as a kid he had a crush on his like master or whatever because he was like
Ooh.
the butler. What's the word? Um.
Uh,
Anyways,
yeah.
and then the master shows up again like 10 years later as a little kid, and he's like an adult, and he's navigating like the feelings he had during his childhood and whatever, and the person he is now, and
Yeah.
the way he's kind of stifled his development, like kind of stopped in its tracks, kind of,
Yeah.
the kind of person he became, all that shit,
Mhm.
and what's her fucking name? Mochijun, right?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
has she has to navigate that this gay guy is like kind of fucking evil, but he's not evil because he's gay. But
Yeah.
and she does try to do that, but at the same time, she's like, she loves making jokes about how he has a crush on a little boy, and it's like it's oh
It's so scary, but she does it well, I think. She made it.
yeah, no, she did it. Out of all people in the fucking war who could pull that off, Mochishun is like high on the top.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
It's really
anyway.
scary.
Yeah, yeah. Um, other
Uh-huh.
than that, I read all of Adachi and Shimamura, like the light novels up to volume 7 in like a
Whoa.
day.
Oh.
I still have 8 through 11 to read.
Uh huh.
But you know
Oh.
what? Okay, I tried reading the manga and everything when it first started getting uploaded, and this is my first time with the light novels. I don't know if I actually like it. Like,
Oh god.
I love both of their uh, autistic swag going on, but
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, they got issues, and is it? I'm not very good at names, so I always forget which one is which after I finish reading them. But I know the one bitch with the black hair, is it Adachi? She's got some
Uh
weird
huh.
she's she's in that too isolated mode, so she's got issues around that, and it's like this feels a little too real, but also, and I also could not tolerate this, so I don't know how Shimamura does it. So I don't know if I like it. But I'll keep reading that shit.
If it makes you happy.
Well, it's such an interesting word here. Yeah, other
If
than
it
that,
keeps you entertained, I don't know.
Other than that, been reading a bunch of Toho doujinshi ever since we discussed it the other day. It was funny. I was getting together a list to recommend to everybody, and I kept being like, I was going through like all of the Toho doujinshi, but I like every like 1 in 5 times, or like 4 out of 5 times that I would go, oh, I remember this doujin, I love it, and then I would look at the author, and it was still Yakumi Sarai, who was like my fucking favorite, and it was just like, it was so it was like too many times that I was like, yo, I should recommend this, and I'm like, I have already recommended the entire author to you all, so I can't just do every single other one. Anyway, I've been reading a lot.
You should just recommend every single one of the works individually.
Yeah, everybody go and read Yakumi Sarai's Toho doujinshi. I know there's like, there's like 30 of them, but they're all like so good. Like, they go from like weird cannibal stuff. That's the person that literally there was that post that was going around about the one that Ramilia cures Sakuya's leg.
Yeah, so she can eat it once she dies.
Yeah. Yakumi Sarai wrote that shit. It's fucking good. And also, they like Momiji, who's my favorite. So.
Yeah.
Yay. Momiji.
Momiji.
I love
Yay.
her. And Suwako is drawn so frog-like. It's so good. Anyway, yeah.
I won't get into your controversial opinions in Toho shippings, so that we are not cancelled by the woke media.
Wait, which controversial opinions? I'm curious what you mean by this.
Oh, no, just like a distaste for some popular pairings.
Oh. Yeah.
Nothing that serious.
I'm usually pretty clear that I feel like I post a lot about my controversial opinions. All my followers don't seem to care though, so.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Although, yeah. Maybe I should come out swinging with that. Maybe I should be like, yeah, everybody, I think Kyoko x Sayaka from Madoka sucks as a ship.
Oh.
I think Kyoko Mommy is better in every way. Come at me.
I think that's just
all
because
just basic bitches for shipping Sayaka and Kyoko.
I won't lie that you're right, but I feel like I feel like you're a little biased because of the kind of works you've been exposed to.
I had to work. I worked so hard to come up, not come up with. I worked so hard to develop my personality into being only someone who can consume insane ass rare pairs. Okay.
Yeah.
You just. I need to get more people on my level. I need people to like. I don't know.
Yeah, but then they won't be rare pairs.
That's true. But then I'd see more content. That would be good. I would like that.
Perhaps. I don't think that's like a high priority in the bracket list, but you know what? Sure. I'll give you. I'll let it be.
Though it's funny, like as time goes on, eventually you are guaranteed to get more like rare pair content. Like, it's been how many years since Love Live was big, and now all the good Nico Tori doujins are being published and translated. It's just in a matter of time, I will be the one winning, not everybody else. Okay? This is just how it works.
Yeah, this is basic. What's it called? Thermodynamics 101.
Yeah.
Eventually the rare pair gets more popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is that's how thermodynamics works for sure.
That's thermodynamics for you. But okay, I feel like we got our funny intro.
We did.
So
sorry, I took us on a huge tangent.
No, it's so good. I've just been like so excited about the actual chapters this time
Oh no,
around.
that's so fair. Yeah, no, these chapters are fun.
Yeah, I mean, they're already like good, but they get to like a lot of what I love about the about Shimeshi simulation as a whole, especially chapter
Mhm.
7.
Mhm.
Um, that I've been like dying since like I read them the other day to like talk about them,
Yay.
and I've been
Okay.
waiting
Okay.
so patiently.
Okay. Well, let's segue over there then.
Okay.
Remember everybody, we were reading chapters 7 and 8 this week.
Mhm.
Quick summary of 7. Do you want to do it? I'll let you do these
Uh,
summaries.
I can do chapter 7. In, I mean, I can do chapter 8 as well. I just don't have as much interest in chapter 8.
Really?
I
Okay.
mean, it's not that I don't. I like chapter 7 more than I like chapter 8. So like, okay. I feel like I won't do it justice because I'm not that excited
Okay.
over
Okay.
like a. So chapter 7, we actually get to see, you know, Shimeshi, Shima, fuck. Shishima gets sick, so she has to skip school, but then she ends up realizing she's fine and she doesn't really have anything to do, and if she just goes back to sleep, she feels like she'd go back to her old self that was always in her room, so she decides to go for a little walk. And she gets lost, and she ends up finding a mysterious being with a huge stick and like a funny hat, like she's like a little girl, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And she's like, "I don't know, I'm just fixing shit." And eventually she gets back to the bus station. She has a talk with Yu-chan from Girls Last Tour. She has a little chat. She scares a couple pigeons, and she has some fun for getting back home.
Yay.
As for chapter 8, I don't know if you want to do the summary. I can do it, but
Oh yeah.
I don't.
So chapter 8. The girlies go over to Shishima's little house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and hang out and do it's like the typical fucking 4 coma. Oh, let's go study together shit. That I don't know. They're high school students. So that makes sense, I guess. Anyway, they hang out.
High school students would never go to each other's homes to hang out and study.
I mean, I didn't as a high schooler, so back in those
Yeah,
days.
back in the day.
Yeah. Anyway, and Shishima's sister's there. Hi, Shishima's sister.
Hi,
Yay.
Yujima's sister.
TK Miz stand-in. Heart emoji.
Yeah, heart emoji.
Yep.
What?
That's
Okay.
chapter.
So, I want to focus first on like the chronological order of the chapters, chapter 7
Yeah.
and chapter 8.
Of course, yeah. We're not doing it.
Um,
We're not avant-garde here.
Yeah, let's not get too crazy, okay? I feel like
Yeah.
we already discussed a lot
We're
of.
not like a fucking Haruhi episode. That's dated
Oh,
now.
God.
We've seen Haruhi in this generation.
Aww. Yeah, there's probably like a couple people following that haven't read or watched Haruhi.
That's so sad. It's a good show. It's a good life.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry
Does the
for.
dance.
Sorry
We
for
all know the
dampening the
dance.
mood.
It's okay. Anyway, let's get into the chapters.
Okay. So, what I was saying about chapter 7 that I really love is like, as it is with a lot of, you know, high school series and all that shit and coming of age stories. Meshi Simulation is one of those, and one about like the main characters growing, especially Shishima, as the series goes along, and finding their way through the world. And It's obviously very different, but because it's a series very dear to my heart, I'm gonna mention it. Uh, and much like what moment is,
Yay!
4 episodes. I probably didn't mention it before, right? Or
I
whatever.
don't think so. It took us this long to mention Wanamote.
4 episodes before we actually mentioned it in the segments of the
That's pretty good.
on the chapter segments. So Shishima is a very lonely, socially isolated girl. Her story of growth does come a lot from finding her place in the world, in the context of not really being able to value herself based on the relationships around her. Like a lot of it is just like there are classic stories of coming of age where they diverge a lot, obviously, because otherwise the genre would not make sense. But in a lot of them, there's like this conflict of like I don't know childhood friendships, for example, not really fitting the world they're in right now, or uh, friendships that you make as a teen not really making sense, or that kind of thing, right? But
Mm-hmm.
as currently there are obviously like a lot of kids with anxiety and depression and all of that, and it's not like it didn't happen before, but because it's more talked about and normalized to a degree, there's like more media made about like about it that is more relevant to our day-to-day lives than like I don't know something like okay there's been since like forever, but there's like a specific brand that exists right now.
Yeah.
And there's like Bochi. Watamote was the example I was going for, where you kind of have to find a place in the world, as with all of these series do. But it's a bit of a struggle because if you can't really find any value on yourself as a person, uh, it, in general as a teen, it's very hard if you don't have any solid friendships or like a solid context as a person. So you feel like a very depersonalized, and that's kind of what Shishima has to go through, and how she finds the roads of life is what's interesting to me. Because in this episode, there's like, uh, well, you don't have the road of like classic society. She's not going to school. She's skipping out. She's a rebel.
Yeah.
And she goes to town, but she ends up getting lost. It's kind of like she's trying to be a rebel. She's trying to, or not a rebel necessarily, but she is trying things outside of her own comfort zone, outside of both her comfort zone and the guidelines established by society, which is the school. How so she ends up getting lost really quickly, which is like kind of funny. Oh yes, the town is very big and weird when you're a kid and you don't really know how to find yourself, both literally and like figuratively. But and in this case they do it like by the town itself just kind of shifting around into around the place, which I found like a really fun twist on the sort of story the chapter is trying to say, that the physical space changes around your uncertainty around the world. And while she's going around, she's like kind of looking at all these things, and it's interesting that they take this idealized version of objects like rocks, and she's like, "What's yeah?" I found this page really interesting, like page 4, where she says, "Wait, if you think about it, staying, existing, and staying there is the point of rocks. So I'm even less than a rock." Which is like a funny gag of like, oh, she's a sad, depressed girl, and she thinks a rock is better than her. But it's more of the point that she doesn't really understand her place in life, and she's kind of envious of inanimate objects who don't really have to question themselves. Which extends a little later on chapter 8 when her sister goes to say that there's nothing that's trash in the house because everything has a meaning, even if it's like laying around and not currently doing the thing it's meant to do.
Yeah.
And I find it very interesting that they take this philosophical concept and implement it in a in like this, this context of like a teen trying to make sense of their own existence and how they go around that. It's fun. It's cute. And then she's like off the roads. She's wild. She's a rebel, and she finds this guiding light in the middle of it. She's lost and she doesn't know what to do. And then there's like this figure that's all white and very ethereal or weird. She doesn't really say her name, or she doesn't really explain what she's doing. She's just like, I'm just fixing things. I'm just making the things make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of like what made the rock, It's what it's.
Yeah.
And so she's kind of like this guiding light of, okay, there is a road to be right, and she's trying to fix them into being right. So there's like being off the road and not really knowing what to do, and then finding something that can show you the way, which is why she feels like such a religious thing, like a religious concept, even without any explanation of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Both because the figure itself is just very weird. Like, what's a little girl walking around the town that Shishima is already lost in, and she's just acting like it's no big deal. It's like already like a kind of weird situation, but also just like this figure that is correcting things is something that's kind of calling to a religious authority, right?
Mm-hmm.
And well, she guides her back to her house essentially, or at least the bus stop, so she can like go somewhere that makes sense and make the decision to go back home herself.
Yeah.
And I love that part. I love that part where she tells her like jokingly, "Oh, should I fix you too?" And then Shishima immediately imagines her being hit by the stick. And regretting like going off the road, her saying like imagining these figures telling her to be correct and go to school.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like she's doing this act of revelry, right? Anyways, she's doing this reveling, and then this figure shows up and shows her the right way back home. It's interesting, but what I love most about the chapter is by the end of it, you get back to Yu-chan. You have the funny joke with like not really being much of a difference besides the shape of the snack. Like they're both just the fish, except one's like a little bit. One's like a mackerel, and she gets one. It's a cute like. It's how do you say? It's kind of cute how inside this world that is very abstract and exists kind of around Shishima, you know?
Yeah.
That there's such an importance to fish that they would make a different name and snack for a different shape of shape of fish. It's a really cute detail.
That's the ideal world right there. We should have a different snack for every single kind of fish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she has that meeting with Yu-chan, and not only does Yu-chan recognize her and tries to do a little small talk to, I don't know, just hang out. And Shishima gets a little scared, but in her she finds like a comforting figure, because she tells her like she's like a proper adult, right? But even then she's allowed to have fun. She's like, when she's stressed out, she just goes and scares a couple pigeons and invites her to do that as well.
Yeah.
And it's like a little embarrassing for her, but she has her fun, and by the end of it she's like reflecting, as she does in like some of these chapters,
Mhm.
and she's kind of regretting that everyone has like their proper place and meaning in the world.
Mhm.
But she realizes that even like these inanimate objects like roads, electric poles, and rocks um, get tired from being like so proper, and
Yeah.
that it's okay to not be like correct all the time. Like it's okay if you skip class once or twice. Nobody's going to kill you about it.
Yeah. They're not.
Uh,
Yeah. Everybody has those days.
it's like a cute chapter for like a kid with anxiety, right?
Mhm.
Uh,
It is.
so it's like even in like these times where you feel like you're fucked up because you're doing like something that's not 100% right, or you're skipping class, or you're skipping work, or something like that. It's kind of like a
Mhm.
reassurance that yeah, not everyone, even the people you admire, are not really like 100% of the time like that, and you gotta like let go, otherwise you'll like go crazy.
Yeah.
um but yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
like it that I wanted to say, that like I love how much the episode says without saying anything directly, and like how it's short. It's like 10 pages or something, but it does deliver a very good self-contained story.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the visuals in it, like the way
Oh,
like when she's
gorgeous.
wandering through it, she's like the city coming up from the bottom of the page and stuff. It totally. I know earlier, I think in one of the first episodes, I compared it to like a Panpanya story, and
Hmm.
I think as authors, this is where both of them like Panpanya does very similar things because a lot of their
Hmm.
stuff is like getting lost in cities, and they do very similar things. So it totally reminds me of that and it's
Mm.
so good. Um, yeah, and some of the way that like it really gets you in this feeling of yeah. Sometimes when you're a part of like wherever you live, that's like I'm not really in this area. It kind of does. It gets that feeling very well. And then those last two just single panels right next to each other. That when chasing the
Yeah.
birds, it's so good. I really love the art in this one.
Yeah, I was thinking a lot of like later chapters, and like back when I was reading like near the end of
Mm.
Shimeshi Simulation, I was thinking
Yeah.
like how inventive the way Take Miss uses like paneling and backgrounds to tell like a lot of story. Uh, I didn't realize how much of it was also at the beginning. Like
Yeah.
this, I love this chapter also because the city does feel like very oppressive and confusing without going like exaggerating, like without like making an actual maze out of it, but also giving you an impression that it's like kind of almost supernaturally confusing.
Yeah.
Just the way the paneling is set up is
Mhm.
like something I really enjoy from this chapter, and how a lot of the narration of the chapter itself, like the
Yeah.
moving along of the plot, it's not really in the thought bubbles, but more in the way taking Miss draws backgrounds and shit. It's really impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. It's
But
good
yeah,
stuff.
as you can see, it's a chapter I had a lot of fun with, and I
Ye-
didn't think I would be able to bring that much enthusiasm to chapter 8. So
Hey, that's fair. That's fair. It's it's just like it's such a solid chapter. I love yeah. Yeah. I don't actually
overall,
have that
I
much to
think
say.
yeah, overall it's like a chapter that left me thinking a lot, because it's like it's kind of like we first start seeing this struggle of Shishima, not just of like going to school, but also of like what she does with the world around her, right?
Mhm.
It's like the beginning of something, just to put it some way. And it's important that this is like the first chapter we see the gardener,
Yeah.
uh, because she is like a very important figure in the story, and I'm not gonna go too much into what she represents as of now. I'm just gonna go what she represents in the story, in the chapter, which is like this guiding figure telling her how to actually, like, to be a good girl, to go back to school, to take the bus home, that kind of thing. And for that reason, she's like a moral guidance, and this is what she does kind of feel like an like, I was saying religious figure, but I meant more like an angel specifically.
Okay.
In there's like not, it's not like this strict definition, but it's just like in this chapter specifically, she's just like almost a miraculous figure that you're in the middle of nowhere with no one around, then someone shows up and shows you around and takes you back home.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know, it's a really special episode to me, despite not really having too much going on.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to add some more. I've been like kind of.
I honestly, hey, yeah, no, you kind of said everything everything and more than what I would have said. So, yay, yay. It's so funny whenever like the chapters are so clear that you're just kind of like, yep, that is what's going on, right on, you know?
Yeah.
It's like nice.
Yeah. I feel like Taking a Miss is able to tell very simple stories and give you a lot and you can get a lot from them, which is really nice. And even like simple chapters with simple stories end up building into something great. But by themselves, they're already like plenty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's more or less chapter 7.
Right on. Chapter 7.
I think I'm gonna bookmark it by mid or so when you get back to like the gardener, and like, I don't know, mid to late, not game, mid to late story wise.
Oh.
Yeah, once we're in the late game of like
Yeah.
Shimeji Simulation, we'll get back to this.
Yeah. Yeah, this is some real late game shit. Just take note of it for now.
Yeah. Just know
you may be tempted to go for it when you're in the mid game stage. However, no.
No. No.
Oh.
But yeah, back to chapter 8. Do you want to like?
Yeah. Chapter 8. So, obviously they're going in to Shimeji's, like, they're going to Shimeji's apartment that she shares with her sister. And, like, they do this little, like, they're walking home. They see kind of, like, the usual things we've been seeing with all those apartment buildings all in a row. I like the bit with the cube where, like, wow, you live in a giant cube or whatever, the black house or whatever. And she's like, you don't seriously think I live here. That's pretty good.
She's a silly girl.
She is a silly girl. It's great. Yeah. It does start to reveal to you, like how many of these, like, buildings there are. And she's like, Shijima's like, yeah, we're kind of the only people who live in the building. Like, you know, it kind of adds to that like surrealism of it, which is nice. So, you know, then they, you know, got the classwork, and, you know, it comes back for Majime is like not good at schoolwork, which, like, we're all there, girl.
Yeah, we'll all be there.
Me right now. I'm in danger. Yeah, I think the interesting thing is, like, with the sister in this one, because, like, you know, there's a little bit of sister time, and she's always kind of, like, interesting of, like, she feels like up till now she's just very much a force that's building, but you can't understand her at this point. Like you understand that there's something there, and this one is like where she's got all these machines, and you brought up the like everything here is needed, that kind of thing, and you take that in, and you're like, what could be happening? Like she's got all these experiments running. There's a bunch of garbage.
And then Shishima going, "Oh, I'm trash though."
No.
Yeah.
No, girl. Don't say that. Yeah. Sorry, my brain just did a reboot.
Yeah, we'll get there. No worries.
I'm a little all over the place. Oh yeah, and this is when they start bringing up the they do the little Shijima closet bit again.
Yeah, they bring it up again, which is always it's such a delightful joke. You can do it as many times as you want.
Yeah. We've been running into that joke so often lately. What's up with that?
I mean, if so often, it's just like we've been playing the what's it called?
Oh, Doki Doki. Yeah, that's
cool. The Doki Doki Natsuki route. So
she's always in that damn closet.
It's because you're always in the damn closet.
That is so true. Yeah, it's funny that like the like like second to last page of the chapter, they kind of do the like we're more than friends thing, but like shuts her up or whatever, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
It's a funny gag.
It's a funny gag, and it's also like the ambiguity of the relationship is like it's so like I don't know. It's weird still for them. So that's kind of interesting. Like I don't know. Anyway,
yeah. I'm gonna wait until you finish with the episode chapter recaps to make a comment about that.
I mean, this isn't really a recap. It's just me going through the chapter and being like, here's some things that I like. Because I'm not as, like, put together with... Like, typically, sometimes I like to do, like, full notes of the chapters if I really have to take in a lot. But, like, this one, I just kind of, like, have various little thoughts about it. Cause I like this chapter. I like all the different things we see in it. Like, it's Shijima's way home. It's their apartment. And it's, like, the end, they kind of... like they're helping out Shijima's sister, and like it's all little. This is like building a lot, and you get to see a lot of little things. I don't know. I think it's a bunch of really cool little things, and you know, I don't think there's like not a ton of crazy stuff with the art. I mean, I like the clutter.
No, I was gonna say something. There is like page 4. There is like. They're walking back home, like they're walking back to Shishima's home.
Oh,
and there's like this huge building while the two of them are in the foreground, very, very tiny.
Yeah,
and the way the building takes like 90% of the page to show how big these apartments are and how creepy it is that they're all empty. It's something I really liked about the chapter. It's like a little highlight in the art that I wanted to point out.
It reminds me of there's that one shot that's kind of similar in, I think, Girls Last Tour. I still haven't read it in a little bit. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, Girls Last Tour has like a huge bunch of them because it's like mega structures the series.
Yeah. It totally just reminds me of that whole page. It's a great page.
Yeah, it reminds you that this is the same person that drew Girls Last Tour.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, just like as a little throwback. Like, hey, you guys remember that I can draw like these huge buildings to give you like a sense of, I don't know, that you're like so tiny? Okay. Yeah, moving on. Back to the girls. Okay.
Yeah. I am a little jealous of Shijima's sister. I wish I had a cool workspace like her entire apartment. I wish I wish I
You
had
already,
like, random electronics to play with.
you already have
I'm
like,
kinda-
you already have like enough of a mess.
I like to call myself a maximalist.
Get a bigger
once said-
room.
I once said that to my buddy when he was over, and he was like, "Sure." I like to call being a hoarder, and I'm like, okay, well, what if I need all these various screws that I took out of things? Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. They have come in handy. Electronic screws are always useful.
Yeah, in 20 years, this little screw, I'm gonna need like a spare for something else, and you're gonna be so fucking mad.
Literally, you know what? My dad is the exact same way, and
Oh
you know what? It's
god.
proved useful like every single time. We've done so many projects where he's like, well, maybe I have a screw left over for this, and we always find the right one.
Well,
Because he's had them all for like 30 years.
as long as it makes you happy. God.
Yeah.
I do gonna have that same problem with my mom where she's like, oh, you didn't buy, like, for example, with groceries, she's like, oh, you have to buy the grocery and then you have to buy a spare in case you run out. You don't have to go to the store. You can just use the spare and then go to the store to replace the spare. And it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. I can't fucking stand it.
Oh.
I do understand the hoarding impulse, but at the same time, it's like you can also have like a cleaner space. I don't know. Maybe I'm just incredibly wrong about this.
It might be good for me.
Maybe a little less. One or two less boxes, you know.
Shut up! I'm gonna recycle them, I swear. I live on like the 4th floor. I need to run up and down all those stairs.
It's 4. I didn't say that before, but it's 4 floors. How much can it be?
I'm a little out of shape nowadays.
Okay. I won't.
Sorry, I don't walk 15 fucking kilometers every day like you do. Okay. I sit at home and I do computer homework.
I walk the normal amount of kilometers a day.
Okay, well, whatever. I was fucking training for like the fucking triathlon or some shit.
You know, I do
Fucking...
love training. I just haven't had the time lately.
Oh my god.
You're lucky I don't get to go out and do sports because I would be bragging so much right now. Okay, back to the episode so we can stop making fun of you.
We couldn't handle you being a jock on this episode. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing this for the sake of our friendship, okay? Otherwise, it would be very embarrassing for the both of us.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to the episode.
Yeah, the episode.
There's the chapter, whatever.
No.
Something we see that's like important about Shishima's sister is that even with her sister and Mashime, she's not really someone who's like very generous and giving. Like she will withhold like what's it called? She will not teach Majime unless she can convince Shishima to help her out with her experiments, which is like, you know, it's a funny gag of like her being like such a rational person or whatever, but it's also like, come on.
I don't know. I feel like, okay, I think this is where our different interpretations of Shishima's sister come into play, because, like, I don't know, it's not like, oh, I won't do it at all. I think it's like just like playful ribbing at this point. Like, I would have interpreted like this as like, oh yeah, she's like hanging out with her younger sister and her younger sister's friend. You kind of gotta, you play it cool a little bit, you know?
Mm.
You know, like,
yeah.
Like I also see it like personally as like here I'm like doing something with both of you. Like we're spending time.
We're
don't know.
hanging out. Okay.
We're hanging out. That's how I would have interpreted it. Like, I think both are fair and reasonable, but I think this is where our Shijima's sister debate comes into play.
Okay. It's fun getting Shishima sister episodes because then we get to discuss whether she's like just a silly little adult woman or she's just a fucked up devil.
Yeah. It's so funny. I think a lot of it plays into like we have very different relationships with our sisters. So, like,
it is completely unrelated that it doesn't not at all. There's no correlation whatsoever.
Isn't it crazy that we have both? I think you're also like the younger sister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I'm the elder sister and I have like a very close relationship, and you're like the younger sister and have a very I don't know.
Tense.
I don't want to put words in your mouth. Yeah, tense relationship with your sister. So I think this is just like we have completely different views on the dynamics here.
It's like a Rorschach test of like how well you get along with your sister, like how how little faith you have in Shishima's sister.
Yeah, that might be our problem, like our entire problem with our debate.
Yeah.
Like, I've been to her. Like, I've been hanging out around with my sister and her friends are around the house. And like sometimes I'm like, hey, do you guys want to come do this? Or haha, you should do this or whatever. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say my sister's actual name. Anyway.
Okay. Once you skipped all of that on post production, I was gonna say that it's like it's a little easier to have a lot of like good faith on Shishima's sister if your sister is not like if you had a tulpa of your anxieties just like straight up telling you like physically in front of you that you suck. Yeah. So like I feel like this is where we depart a little due to which is the good thing about art, where you get on some levels you get across different experiences, and they inform you of like different perspectives in life. And in other cases, you have disagreements on art just because the way you see it, you bring something to art when you read it or watch it or play it or whatever the fuck that you're doing with your art. So you bring something when you're making it, and you bring something when you're interacting with it. Which is like, it's really fun, always. Which is always fun to have these little debates.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun to see the beauty and the like width of human.
The human experience.
The human experience, yeah. That's what we get to see here on this podcast. This is what we're all inviting you to enjoy. Mm-hmm. People who have very complicated relationships with their sisters, talking about having a complicated relationship with your sister, the manga.
Yeah. It's also that the previous chapter, right? You see like this authority figure interact with Shishima, and she immediately like hears like, should I fix you too? And then she immediately thinks of like this little kid hitting her and telling her to do the right thing. So like that immediately coming after with like Shishima's sister telling her what to do felt like a little, I don't know how related it is, but it's also like I'm already a little biased against this adult woman. So I'm not giving her a lot of the benefit of doubt, which is it's a little unfair because then things happen.
I understand where you're coming from with this, at least.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad I could make things a little clearer.
I understand where you're coming from.
And
I
then
still don't agree, but
yeah, no, you don't have to agree with me.
Yeah.
But I am clearing things up a little more. Uh, then there's that part where Mashime is like the funny joke of like object heads being like okay, not object heads, but like you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
being relevant to the character in some way, but at the same time not always being like very straightforward explanations as to why they have that.
Yeah.
Like you got the library girl who's got books on her head because
We haven't gotten to her yet.
oh yeah,
Excuse me.
fuck. Oh my
If we could talk about
god.
her, I would never stop talking about her.
I'm sorry.
I
I'll
am in love with her.
I'll shut the fuck up. I am sorry.
No,
Uh,
it's okay. I'm sorry, Maria. I didn't mean to come after you like that. That wasn't very feminist of me.
It's okay. Well, we're not extremely feminist on this podcast, so we'll let it slide.
Yeah, this is a like pro misogyny podcast.
I wouldn't go that far, but I would probably say it's not like a top 10 podcast you're listening to when you're a respecting woman.
Oh my god, that's dire.
okay.
Top
fine.
10?
No, I said it wouldn't be like.
Oh, it wouldn't.
Like it's not like on the top of like woman respecter podcast. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Just a very neutral stance on women.
Sure.
Okay.
I would say my stance on women is anything but neutral.
Fucking Halloween ass sentence. Okay.
Hey, you've been telling me to become Halamede.
No, I mean telling you to become a chaser. It's very different.
Okay, Roxy's been telling me to become Halamede or whatever.
Okay, well.
Can we get everybody to weigh in if I should become Halamede?
Yeah, let's make a poll.
Unironically.
Let's make a poll when the podcast drops, and get the viewers' opinions on whether you should or not become Halimate. Okay?
Okay, that'll be great. Everyone will love this.
Yeah, everybody will have so much fun. What was I gonna say? Back to the chapter, right?
Yeah.
There's like, that thing of Shishima using, like, the closet being used as a way of Shishima not opening up necessarily, right? To Mashima. So it's like a fun. I don't know how to say it. Like a fun little metaphor, like in the meantime, and in the sense to deny her while still maintaining a close relationship, she kind of has to open up a little in this moment, right? Because it's kind of telling us that while Shishima obviously denies that they're like dating or whatever, she does spend time with her. She does, even if it is to deny her, she does talk and spend time with her. She's like the number one person she's close with. So it's like telling us that all this, will they, won't they, is less about the fact that Shishima doesn't like her and more about the fact that she's like very closed off, and these moments where she has to like I don't know, like form a stand, like do a stance or say something to Mashima when she's running her mouth. Does show a little bit of vulnerability, because otherwise she would just like not say anything.
Yeah, and I think it works into like Shijima has like she's like she has boundaries that she makes very clear, and I think that's part of like her whole thing. And like while she's like she's okay with like doing some stuff and like whatever, like I feel like it's very clear, and a lot of the characters like work around that, the fact that like she, like if she really doesn't want to do anything, she won't do it, obviously, that kind of stuff. I think that also like works into like my interpretation with Shijima's sister. Like I feel like she doesn't like actually mind helping out her sister with this kind of stuff.
Mm.
She just, like, you know, will groan and grumble about it or whatever, but she'll still do it. Like, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
She's
I don't.
like, yeah, and I think Majime is just kind of like, she pokes at like her boundaries or whatever, and I think that's kind of like their relationship of like, she'll poke at her boundaries, she'll like try to open up the closet door when Shishima's closed or whatever, but in the end she kind of she respects them.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's the relationship they both have is very. It's very good in general because it's like it's kind of like that tension, like not tension, but like that dynamic of like the classic extrovert introvert thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel so stereotypical, and it feels more like I don't know them actually learning how to be around each other and uh, like it's not just like Mashima is just there for character development because Shishima does have her moments with her, and there's like a lot of interaction between the other and a lot of growth that comes from like being together. Um, but like the thing is, I was gonna say earlier about the relationship they have, which is that Shima does kind of need a figure that will push her a little, not to like pressure her into doing things she doesn't want, but pressure her into doing anything at all. And
Yeah.
like kind of what's Shishima's missing at the start of the series is like this kind of drive to do something, and like a very big disconnect from the world she's living in. So it's like someone slowly and steadily introducing her to, I don't know, the whole digging club. That was Majima's idea. I don't know what else right now, but it's like slowly building up to Shishima doing things thanks to not necessarily like Mashima is forcing her to do things, but because she is there, she is able to do the things she wants, and if there's like a hard limit or something, she's not scared to shut her off. But at the same time, it's like someone she ends up spending a lot of time with and helps her develop a lot. And
yeah,
I was gonna close that thought, which is that kind of the thing in the story is that she is kind of led around by the people in her life, not in the sense that they manipulate her or anything. It's just that because of the little drive that she has, because of depression, anxiety, and all that kind of thing, just kind of saps you a little out of your capacity for thinking about doing things, or or like getting certain goals or having goals in the first place. So I think what's interesting is that like Mashima's figure is also like that, but instead of pushing her to do something specifically or whatever, she's essentially pushing her into learning how to think for herself or move around the world on her own terms, and knowing that there's like a figure behind her that is like always up for doing things or pushing her to move around and do things. So it's like a very nice dynamic where it doesn't feel like she's just being led around, even though she kind of is.
Well, yeah,
but like,
it's just like, yeah.
I don't know. There's like a lot of depth to the relationship, especially as the series keeps going. But it doesn't feel like one-sided on either accounts. It's just like a very good relationship that they have.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was like my closing statement for the episode 8.
That's fair, and I think random side thing. Sorry, don't mean to undercut what you said because it was good. On that last page, is this the first time we've seen? Oh, I don't remember her name. The sketchbook girl that's at the whole digging club. Because I don't think she's been at the previous ones, but she's there. Hanging out with the teacher.
I think she was. I don't know. I should
Was
check.
she there where my fucking goldfish memory does not help. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, we're
Bad
very
recording.
disappointed in you.
Yeah, they should just kill me or something.
Okay, I don't know that far. Maybe we'll put you in a corner.
Putting me in the don't put baby in the corner. Is that the quote?
What code?
Is that? I think that's from like Dirty Dancing or something. My mom always said it.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I don't have such a what's it called? I don't have a mom that is so dedicated to pop culture that she would make Dirty Dancing quotes. So I've never even watched Dirty Dancing. I'm afraid to say.
I've seen the first 20 minutes of it, so she could show me the bit where they go, "I carried a watermelon." Oh, I carried a watermelon. So me and my sister could quote it properly because she also says that a lot.
Damn, your mom's really into Dirty Dancing. Actually, I don't.
No, not really. Not compared to the rest of like the Brat Pack movies. She's more of a 16 Candles girly.
Okay, actually,
Great.
I am going through the previous chapters and I couldn't find her, so my fucking bad.
Yeah. Oh, see, I was right.
I'm sorry for having doubted you like this.
Boy, I was right.
Yeah, you were right all
I'm not
along.
doing that voice again. Yay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna miss the voice.
Yeah, I did it.
You did it. You won a Shimeji simulation.
I won Shimeji simulation.
Yeah, you're you're gonna get the monthly sandwich from Take a Miss. I'm gonna have to go hungry.
Shit. I did have a really good sandwich today. I went to that really nice sandwich place that's by me. I had a prosciutto panini with mozzarella.
Oh, you can't tell me that shit.
Oh, it was so good. I took a picture. I'll send it to you.
Oh, please.
I take terrible food photos, though, so it's gonna look like shit.
No worries. I did like some fucking concoction on the new pan. I essentially just grabbed every vegetable that was gonna go bad if I didn't do anything about it. Just threw like carrot, onion, bell pepper, corn, some beans that were like in the freezer. I think they did something else, but I can't remember right now. Some chili peppers, and then I did like some. I can't remember that the meal, but anyways, I just threw like a bunch of tomato puree and waited for it to like get a little thicker. Did like a couple spices, and I gotta say, as far as like just throwing shit on a pan and like a pot and just hoping for the best, it was pretty good. And then I put like an egg, just for good measure.
That sounds fucking delicious. I'm so jealous right now.
Yeah, you're
a delicious
fucking
sandwich.
yeah.
I had a delicious sandwich, and I'm still jealous. Like, fuck off, man.
You need to get that shit checked out. Yeah, your sandwich, and you're mad at me.
Cooking someday.
Yeah. I mean, it's just you cook them and then you're done.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like one of the. You know that post that's like, at a certain point of cooking, you have like two options, which is a shit you throw in a skillet and shit you throw in the oven, or like shit you throw in a pot. It really is like that. Like after a certain point, there's no recipe. There's just you just throw some shit in there and hope for the best.
Yeah.
I still don't think you're allowed to be mad at me for that.
No, I'm not at all. I'm not mad. I'm just jealous.
Same thing. Whatever.
I'm just like Parsi from Toho. I'm just jealous at everything.
Yeah, you're just like Toho.
I'm just like Toho.
Yeah. Man,
anyway, yeah.
if I was a Toho, I would be
Yeah, who would you be as a Toho? This is our question for this week, by the way, everyone. Please send us which Toho girly you would be. Or maybe Renosuke if you want, because it's either a Toho girly or Renosuke, really.
Yeah.
The two
If you pick Rinosuke, I'm gonna shit. I'm gonna kick the shit. No, I'm gonna kick the shit out of you. I was gonna say that, and then I confused the order, and I was gonna shit the kick out of you.
Shit the kick. Yeah.
Point is, you're not allowed to pick the boy. You are a girl for tonight.
Yeah. Don't care what your situation is. You're a Toho girl tonight.
Yeah,
pick
exactly.
One.
Maybe you can pick one with like pants or something if you're like that schemy about.
If you're masked.
Squeamish about. Yeah, if you're masked, you can pick one with pants.
You can be like Moku or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, you're masked with a Toho PFP.
Top 10 Toho mask characters. Let's go.
I think in terms of like character cuteness, Sekibanki has grown on me, but I can't like turn my back on like the Scarlet Mansion, specifically like Remilia.
Yeah, you're a Remilia girly.
Yeah, she's been there for me, okay?
Yeah, that's fair. I like the weirdos.
I just love her little hat. I love that everyone Scarlet Mansion inside it. It's got like a funny little hat.
They do. It's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Which one were you gonna say?
Oh, I just like the people that live on the mountain vaguely. I like Momiji. I like all the Kappa. I like Aya. I like that bucket girl from hell.
Oh, I still haven't gotten around the new ones, but that's because my computer just lost a couple drives and can't run Toho games.
The bucket girl from hell is like, isn't she in like the, like, I don't actually remember any of the numbers, like 15 or something. Which is the one that they fight like Yugi in? She's in that one, isn't she?
Oh, I thought they went to hell in like Toho 19. I didn't know they went to hell earlier.
Where do you think? Okay. Yeah, I'm gaining insight. As somebody who's like consuming Toho content like passively, I just don't understand. Like, I just have no familiarity of what someone who just plays like you play like a couple of the games. I don't know what you know.
I played like 6, 7, 8. I went through I think it was 10, right? And then I started going through one of the other ones, and I can't remember which one. It's like on this 2 digits.
I'm looking up which fucking Toho game I mean.
Oh yeah, I also play Lunar Knights, so technically that's another Toho game, but I don't think it counts.
Yeah. She's literally in Subterranean Animism, which is the fucking 11th game.
Oh, well...
She's hanging out with Parsi, Yugi, and, like, Satori.
Well...
Fucking Orin and Oku? You know them. She's hanging out with them. In hell. They're in hell.
I'm sorry! I don't... It's intimidating, all the Toho dojins. I know you, like, go through, like, every single fucking Dynasty scan shit, but, like, I once opened the tag and I got scared and I closed it, okay? There were, like, so many. I mean, and I don't know any of them.
Like, it's so funny, like, I can't play the games because I'm just not very good. Well, I do try to play the games. I'm just... I play the dojin games. I don't play the mainline ones very often. So, like, but you're like a beast at them. So it's funny that, like, it's funny that I'm like, you don't know anything! Where you're the only one between the two of us who could actually fucking beat a Toho game. That's really amusing to me.
And I beat the extra in Scarlet Mansion, so...
Exactly.
Embodiment of the Scarlet Devil.
Shit.
So, like, I got that shit on my belt, and I'm gonna, like, show it off every time I can.
We need, yeah.
Like,
you just need to like the best way to like consume as much Toho is like to get like the lore and shit. First, you read the canon mangas, and they're all really good. So like, oh no, we're really twisting your fucking arm from that. And then you just start going through the ship tags, and you find out which ones you like, and then it's just how it is. You just kind of have to start consuming things. You've got to pick girlies you like. You got to find which girlies you like and then become obsessed with them.
Yeah, don't even try to play the games.
Why bother?
Why fucking bother? I was gonna say something about that, which is that, like, God, it's just, it is really funny just, like, knowing the characters and then seeing, like, people, oh yeah, there's, like, so much crazy shit going on, like, I play the games and it's not like it's not there, but it's, like, they are kind of normal by the standards that they're using in, like, those oceans. I don't think Patchouli would do that. Sorry.
Well, you just haven't been in the cycle enough.
Yeah. What's that post that's like, I don't think that Roxy actually made, yeah. It's I don't think mates do all that.
Not true.
Not true. Especially not with Sakuya.
True. Yeah.
If there's a mate who's done like everything in the fucking world, it's fucking Sakuya.
Yeah. Ugh. Love that girl.
Yeah. Shout out to the girlies.
Shout out to her.
Okay, so we got a little sidetracked, so I was gonna say if you wanted to do like say anything before we close the chapters.
I think we had good discussion around them. I'm willing to wrap up. Let's go through our hate mail. I mean, what? I mean, it asks.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got one this week. Yay!
Woo-hoo.
And thank you, Bulb Abandoned. Is it like Bulbasaur or just oh no, their blog's name just titled Bulb, so.
Bulb. So it's like an abandoned bulb.
Hi.
Yeah.
And then, oh, that's so wonderful. I hope it grows. Anyway, thank you for sending in. They've got a lovely picture. We will be posting this ask, by the way, with the lovely picture of a bird that they saw. I really enjoy it. Here's what they said. Glad to see a new episode of the podcast. This is a picture of a bird I saw a couple of days ago. Since the next episode will have the first chapter with the gardener, I wanted to ask about y'all's thoughts regarding her and Shijima's sister's eventual conflict. I thought it was interesting that the gardener is introduced in the chapter that comes right before Shijima's sister gets Shijima and Majime to help her with her first world-changing machine. Wow! Wow!
Yeah.
Yeah!
Very charged ask.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the wonderful bird. I think my opinion on her and Shijima's sister's eventual conflict, I think the world is made up of a lot of haters of each other, and they just happen to be fated haters.
Yeah, especially those two. I have a little more to elaborate, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, I just don't remember a lot of, like, it's been a while, so I can't speak to the infinite depth of their relationship. I do think they have like an interesting conflict. It's very much yin and yang style, but I don't have more.
So
on it. So you probably do.
Yeah, I do have a lot because I finished a lot more recently than you. So I still have it kind of fresh in my mind. I was gonna say, first of all, that is a very wonderful bird. Thank you for sending it. Second of all, regarding her and Shishima's conflict, we tend not to do the spoilers, but since you sent an ask and it's such a nice bird, I'm gonna we're
gonna give you a little here.
Yeah.
We're gonna throw you a bone.
We're gonna indulge you. Okay, so the thing about the series as a whole is that Shishima is trying to find this way through life, right? And there's like this a lot of conflicting older figures that influence her a lot in her journey. And they're gonna come to head sometimes because they have very different ways of looking at how they should move around the world and all that. Um, Specifically, the conflict between Shishima and the gardener is very interesting because the gardener kind of calls to a status quo, right? Like this return to the status quo that she's always inflicting, and inflicting is a very
Yeah.
strong word for, but still,
Yeah.
she's always coming back to this, trying to fix things as they should be, and she's a very interesting figure in how that is meant to work around the entirety of the manga and what that means for the series. And Shishima's sister is a figure that is meant to embody like change and seeking answers and the truth and all that, right? Beyond like any
Yeah.
sort of support for the status quo or the system or any sort of care for like the world around her, right? Not like care for the world. It's like again, I have very
Yeah. It's just
very strong opinions on matching my sister. Um, okay, I'm rewording
sorry,
that.
I can't be the balanced opinion or what do they call it? I can't be the devil's advocate or whatever for
Uh,
Shijima's sister.
yeah,
The anti-hater.
it's very helpful to have someone that's not gonna let me rant about her for like about like bullshit in my head about her. Um, so thank you for being here.
Mhm.
What I was gonna say is that like she embodies this like change and like indifference towards the status quo because they were both hurt by it like a while ago. So essentially, it's like this conflict between sticking to the status quo, sticking to like a normal life, or venturing beyond what you understand, venturing beyond what you have in front of you, set for you, and that you have to do, right?
Mhm.
And this conflict end up happening, like they end up butting heads like a lot of times, and it's just that Chishima is kind of left wondering who she's supposed to support, right? Who she's supposed to help. And it doesn't
Mhm.
really give us a clear answer as to which one's right or which one's wrong. It's more like what does she do with what happens afterwards after like all this conflict, um, which I found really nice. That it doesn't give us a clear this one's like completely 100% right or this one's like 100% wrong or something. And the gardener, despite being like this figure of the status quo, doesn't come off as like this oppressive figure. It's more like someone trying their best in a world they can't really do much about except try and fix constantly. And it's more like a tragic figure than like a particularly antagonistic one, which helps feel like it's not. Which helps that it's not like such a ham-fisted delivery of what you're supposed to do with your life, which I find like that very good in like a coming of age story actually dedicated to like teenagers, especially like gay teenagers struggling. Do not just like
Mhm.
throw at you what you're supposed to do and figure and just let you like along Shishima's journey figure it out yourself what you actually want to do with all these philosophical conflicts. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I wanted to say about their conflict, and more specifically, I think that the placement of the gardener's chapter is very interesting, especially like just before they get back to Shishima's sister, which is like, they're giving us two different figures, and with Shishima's sister, she's not like I will suspend my very biased opinions and will say she's not like this evil figure, but she's like a little bit a little apathetic in the sense that she's like always like neutral in like her expressions and all that shit, and if Shishima has this problem, like, I don't know, I miss school, what do I do? And she's like, I don't know, figure it out, and like goes back to sleep. Um, it's all so like there's that contrast with the gardener, right? She's like this caring figure that shows you how you're supposed to do things and accompanies you all the way there. So it's interesting that they don't just tell you like, oh, this stand-in for the status quo is just like evil. Like they do give you the benefits of what sticking to the status quo can give you. There's like a way. There's like a way to do things. It's not just like go figure it yourself. It's like very it's like very tempting, and at the same time it helps not, like, as I was saying before, it helps not to give such like a biased, this is how you should live your life way, and helps you like figure out that even though this figure is nice, it can't really get you anywhere. And
I think
one thing, and I'll give you.
Yeah. Continue.
I'll hand you the word.
I'll let you finish your thought.
And since we're doing like spoilers, I was gonna say something I find very, very well done about the gardener is that she doesn't actually have the power to change the world around her. She just has the power to like restore things. I feel like we see this very caring figure, but then we see that she has very huge limitations to her power, and you end up feeling like, okay, then what do I do if this like supposedly all-powerful figure can only like tell you how to do things right and like not really change anything that's bad with the world, just like put little band-aids on like things. That's like kind of the thing that helps me close out the gardener as a character, and kind of the thing that helps me make more sense of the conflict between the both of them. That's the last thing I wanted to say. Thank you for your patience.
It's okay. Sorry, that last little bit makes me want to make a liberal realism joke, but I won't.
Yeah, yeah, it's very much that. I didn't want to say it just like in your face, just figure it out. But yeah, she is very much that. Okay.
Like, not to sound like a commie, but a status quo that's very weak.
Yeah.
And that, like, is just something that's expected. Okay, anyway, the joke over. But, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm laughing way too much at my own stupid little joke.
If it helps, I'm laughing too.
Okay, good. That does help. I do think it is also kind of, like, funny enough. I think this is where Shijima's sister and the character, they, like, work together kind of in ways. Because, like, it's just, like, they're different. Like, obviously they're going about it in different ways. Of, like, the gardener is like, okay, here, we'll get you home or whatever. But at the same time, Shijima's sister, she does, like, encourage her. Like, I feel like the being like, oh, like, hey, figure out what you do when you don't go to school. Like, I think that, like, asking that question and, like, letting her figure it out herself is definitely a way that, you know, Shijima can eventually, like, figure out, yeah, what do I want to do with myself when I don't have school or whatever. I think they work together to, like, help her grow more than they conflict. Like, obviously their ideals conflict.
Yeah, but like she does tell Shishima to go back to school though, is the problem. Like by the end of the chapter she's like, I'll take my leave then. Make sure you go to school, okay? Everyone has a purpose after all. So it's like at a bigger
I think yeah, that on like a bigger level, yes. Like I think that's also like another thing, like adults are like great that you had your day off. Make sure you still go to school. Like that kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's an odd dynamic. I feel like also I don't have it fully fleshed out, obviously, because I don't remember everything. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they're always in conflict. I think they're both benefiting from each other, but also I don't know.
So like
it's funny because I feel like I have a worse reaction to the garden. Like, I feel like we're flipped. Like, you're kind of a hater to Shijima's sister, and I'm kind of a hater to the gardener, actually.
Yeah,
Like,
it's very.
I think she does. I think. I think the gardener is more of like an opposing force than like Shijima's sister, which is very funny. Like for Shijima.
Yeah, no, I like 100% agree with you. I am again. There's like a lot of biases going on.
Oh, yeah, we've got a lot of biases working, and that's so interesting. Aren't we such good examples of hosts for this kind of podcast?
Well,
That's
you
crazy.
did invite me to the podcast so we could like work out differences with the audience.
Yeah.
So every
this
time,
is like our big WWE match we've invited you all to.
yeah, exactly.
One of us will win. One of us will be leaving the ring.
Instead of just like every once in a while discussing this, you're like, what if we just like air this to like a bunch of people?
Yeah.
Which is I found like a very genius idea.
Yeah, it's so fun.
So, I was gonna say about the like as in a bigger sense, like a more abstracted from the story itself. It's a conflict between religion and man, like lack of purpose versus no purpose. You know, you saw that image. It's like classic versus modern versus postmodern. And you know they represent this struggle of like on one hand you have this figure of like the gardener who's like, oh yeah, everyone has a purpose and you have a purpose and you can go back to that purpose and your life is about figuring that purpose and sticking to that. And the alternative,
and that's very much oh sorry, no, continue.
And like that's very much why Shishima's sister is like so interesting, which is that she defies that idea of purpose, of this word being like something you can't change. Everyone has a purpose and it's innate and it's something good in you and you have to follow the Lord and do all this shit because you have a purpose. And then Shishima's sister is just like playing with the word as if it was like fucking Play-Doh. And kind of showing the limits of that sort of ideology. Which
it very much is this like ideology, like it is a battle of ideologies here, which is it's so fun.
Yeah,
I love ideology.
and so like Shishima has to find her place in between all these two, which is like very delightful to see it in like what I do love about Shimeji Simulation that a lot of other shows and manga or whatever of like coming of age stories don't have, which is that it does actually show this struggle to understand yourself as a teenager as like a genuine struggle of like complex philosophies at play and not just like, oh, I wonder if that person is gonna like me, which is not a non-thing that not like it's not something that doesn't happen in the series, right? Like you have all these sort of more banal issues and they're not like apart, they're together. They're both very important aspects of the story and they're both tied in, like, which is something that I love about the series is that it takes all the stupid shit that you're like doing in high school where you're like scared and have anxiety and all this high-end philosophical shit and it puts them on like the same level, not all the time, but it puts them as like story struggles in like a similar level, you know?
That is why it's so good.
Yeah. And like I don't know, it's able to show you all this through like this cute anime girl just hanging out and trying to do her best.
Yeah. You know what? This is a good argument. We should start. We should
start a podcast.
Cute. No. We should start putting. Fuck off. I'll kill you, bitch. I'm sorry, women. We should start putting out a theory with cute anime girls in it.
Yeah. I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
Anyways, I hope that
this is how commies can still win.
yeah. Yeah, honestly, we do need like a little bit on the propaganda side. It's like, you know, when that fucking anime dropped, the one, what's it called? Like the one with mechas and they have sex so they can repopulate or whatever.
Oh my god, that one, yeah. Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh god.
What I'm trying to say is that the comics have been severely lacking in the propaganda side in terms of like the right wing appeal, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like people need to start like genuinely organizing, like, I don't know, like to do a indie anime girl comic or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm no expert on organization. I'm just throwing it out. For the people smarter and hotter than me, this is an idea.
This is an idea.
just telling you. You figure it out. But yeah, Wolf Abandon, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, I hope
and if that didn't answer your question, then I would be like a little worried because I went on for like 15 minutes on that.
Yeah.
You need like
we talked about fucking theory, okay?
Yeah.
We got deep into this question.
Yeah, if you need like another more in-depth explanation, we're gonna have to do like a whole episode on it.
Yeah.
Which like,
God, maybe we shouldn't be so aggressive to our poor listeners. We love you, listeners.
We love you, Wolf Abandon.
So sorry.
Please.
Wolf Abandon.
Please donate to our Patreon.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was our episode 4 of Shimeji Dissertation. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah. Yeah, it was about we got 7 and 8. Next week we'll see you here again. 10, or not next week, Jesus.
2 weeks and some more. Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. Also.
Well, I'll have spring break.
Yeah.
So it'll be fine.
So, for homework and any sort of ask that you want to say, any comment that you want to make on the last chapters, or the newer chapters, and since we're gonna do a recap of like the whole volume.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not our next one. We still have to do 9 and 10.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Like, when people, like, we're gonna do all that, so if people want to send like an ask about it, and they're more than welcome. And you gotta tell us what Toho girl you would be, if you were to be a Toho girl. Not Renosuke, because I will beat you up.
What could we? What about Renosuke, like, transitioned mode? Does this count? What if Renosuke transitioned?
What if Renosuke transitioned?
What if you want to be Renosuke?
But like, that would lose all the charm. It's like the only guy in Toho. He's like fighting herds of like comically large syringes trying to turn him into a girl.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'll leave him out.
Okay.
I do have to say, in my head, I've built up such a little bit of a lore for him, because every time I play Mystia's Izakaya, I always forget what fucking drink he wants, so whenever I'm like, okay, I'm giving you the pink drink, it's whichever early one is just pink. So I'm like, Renosuke, get your fucking pink drink.
I see. It's...
He's a gay little ass.
Yeah, you gotta be a little gay to live in fucking... Oh. Yeah, Gensokyo.
Just how it is.
Anyways, we'll be seeing you around. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.